Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Linnell and we are getting ready for the month of May. I know I say this every single month, but I feel like I need to say it again. I cannot believe that we are in May. Like, where is the time going? How is it that we're already almost halfway through the year? I feel like 2023 just started, but we're grateful, we're thankful, and we're gonna make the best use of our time. So every month, at the end of the month, I like to sit down. Sometimes it happens at the very beginning, like it's happening this month. I like to take some time out, reflect on the previous month, and make some goals for the upcoming month. So today we're gonna reset for the month of May. I have here a cup of peppermint tea. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for drinking tea in the afternoons, but I love tea. I don't drink coffee. My alternative would have been like a carbonated drink, but I drank so much last month. My husband challenged me to not drink any drinks for the month of May, and I am taking him up on that challenge. So tea it is. Anyways, let's get started. So I encourage you, grab your favorite drink, grab your special notebook, and let's look back on the previous month and figure out what worked, what didn't work, talk about a high, a low, and let's move forward to the upcoming month so that our time is always well spent. Right, so let's begin. Obviously, for us to be able to look forward, I like to take a little bit of a look back. So we're gonna look back on April, talk about a high, a low, what worked and what didn't work. So for the month of April, a high was definitely our vacation. We had a lot of fun. It was great that my kids got to meet their grandparents, that I got to meet my in-laws. It was fun being immersed in a different culture, seeing where my husband grew up, meeting the people that he grew up with. It was a really nice experience. It was definitely a high for the month, and possibly it might be one of the highs for our year. Let's see what God has in store. A low for the month would be that we spent just a little bit more than we anticipated, so we have to switch things up a little bit for our finances in the upcoming month. So that was a little bit of a low, but not too much of a low because the trip was a fantastic one, no regrets. And so we just need to shuffle things up a little bit. So what worked for the month of April? What worked was the filming schedule that we created. We really wanted to capture a lot of the trip, and we were successfully able to do that. And to this day, we still go back to some of the videos and we watch them. We sit on the couch with the kids and we watch them. And it was just really fun being able to capture those precious memories and have them there for later viewing, etc. One of the things that we did not expect was the amount of growth that it would cause on our YouTube channel. So we started out maybe about 300 subscribers. Now we're at 600 subscribers, which is amazing. I mean, it's not anything compared to the thousands and the millions that others have, but it was nice seeing that growth. And we're so appreciative of everyone who has joined us on the journey, who's subscribed, who's been supporting your views, your likes, your comments. They support our channel, and we're just so thankful for each and every one of you that have decided to share your time with us and our family. So what did not work? I think in the March reset, I told you guys that I got an Excel template for our finances, and that worked really well for the month of March. And I was hoping to have, that information all throughout the month so that we can use that information and help make better decisions where our finances are concerned. But for the trip, I totally relaxed on that. I didn't forget. It was just very difficult to track the expenses because some of them were unexpected. It was in the rush of the moment, and at the end of the day I forgot, that kind of. I feel like that information would have been very useful, like for future trips, etc. So that finances thing did not work, but I really wish that I had made a greater effort during that time to track our finances. So in the month of April, I had 3 primary goals, which was to read, to spend time with family, and to film and edit. And I think that I did pretty well with all of the goals in April. Obviously, there were only 3 of them and they were quite easy. So we did spend a lot of time with family and we really enjoyed our vacation, like I said. And in terms of reading, I finished 1 book completely. And at first I felt a bit disappointed in myself, but what I realized was that I was reading chapters out of every book. So I wasn't focusing, so I don't usually focus on one book at a time. I generally read 4 to 5 books at a time, and then I usually read a chapter or 2 out of each one every single day. So you hardly find, I hardly find myself reading a complete book a month. So in the past, I used to give myself like a goal for reading 2 books for a month or reading 3 books a month, and then I found I wasn't always achieving those goals. But what I realized is that I read multiple books at a time, and so I don't ever finish like one complete book in the month because I'm reading from so many different books. So instead of giving myself a 2-book a month goal, I'm giving myself chapters per day. So every day I'm trying to read a chapter or 2. It means that it takes me a little bit longer to finish the books, but the important thing is that I'm reading. So in the month of April, I did finish a book, and I think I did half of 2 books and then a quarter of another book. So I did accomplish my reading goal, and then my filming goal was another goal that we accomplished. We filmed maybe 12 videos, I think, for the month of April, which is insane because keeping up with 1 video a week is a lot. But then again, we weren't at work, so we definitely accomplished that goal. Let's talk a little bit about the goals that I set for myself and my family for the month of May. We are getting back into the swing of things, so it feels a little bit, like woozy, because we didn't have to cook, we didn't have to clean, we didn't have to do anything but rest and have fun. So now getting back into the swing of things, the girls going to school, me and Ibrahim going back to work and taking care of the house and everything, I feel like I need to sit down and just revisit our routines, our habits, and just try to center us and get back into the rhythm and the routine that we were used to. First and foremost, let's talk about the goals. So if you are new here, I use a planner called Cultivate What Matters. It's a beautiful planner. It's a goal planner. The idea is that at the beginning of the year, you set the amount of goals that you want to achieve, and then you break down these goals into action items that you can do monthly, weekly, and daily. All right, so let's get into goals for the month of May. So at the beginning of the year, I set some goals for myself, and they are centered around my top 3 priorities. And my top 3 priorities right now, at least in the season that I am, are my faith, my family, and self-development. So if you look at my goals, you realize that usually they align with one of the other. So either it's me trying to develop better relationships with my family members, me trying to grow in my faith, and me trying to develop myself in different areas, whether that be health or professional development, etc. So for the month of May, a few of my goals are: I have to visit my grandparents. I have at least 1 date night with Ibrahim, at least 1 family outing. I also want to be planning my content before the month, so I know what videos are going out throughout the month. I have here invite someone over and spend some time with my mom. In terms of weekly action items, I definitely want to continue a screen-free Sunday. I also usually plan for the week and meal plan for the week as well. I try to do that on a Sunday evening. Ibrahim and I also meet once a week, and then I also have here that I need to study medicine 2 to 3 times a week. So I am a doctor. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm a general practitioner, and I feel like it's important for us to keep up to date with the advances in medicine and technology and whatnot. And then I have here work out 2 to 3 times during the week. So if you guys remember in my last reset, not the last one, the one before, I was supposed to start gym because it had been a while since I had worked out. But I didn't, and then I decided, you know what, I was going on vacation, so I wasn't going to bother it. So now it's time. I was supposed to go to gym today. I mean, there's not time in the day. I'm working tonight. So my goal is to work out 2 to 3 times a week. And then we move on to my daily action items. I have Bible and prayer every day, read to the girls every day. I have prayer with Ibrahim every day, read 2 chapters every day. We're trying to eat together every day, and then I'm also trying to put my phone away from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So those are the goals that I have set for the month of May, and I like that it is divided. into monthly, weekly, and daily action. So I know things that I have to focus on every day, things that I have to focus on every week, and things that I have to focus on every month, so that at the end of the entire year, if I have done these things every day, every week, every month, then I know at the end of the year, I would have made progress on the goals that were important to me. Those are my goals for the month of May. One of the things that I find very helpful is that these goals are in my power sheets, but this book does not get used very often by itself. So I find if I keep my power sheets in this book, then I am not very accountable to the goals that I have set. So what I do is I take it off this planner and then I attach it to my daily planner, and that is how I keep myself accountable for the goals. All right, so next let's take a look at the finances part of things. Like I mentioned previously, we did a little bit of overspending during the month of April, so I'm hoping to balance it out by underspending in the month of May, possibly June, so that we can, balance things out. I also need to pay some bills, and then we need to track all of this on our Excel sheet so that we can get back into the swing of things and having all of our finances under control. So let's get into that. Alright guys, so I'm not one of those YouTubers that shows you like exact numbers or anything, but I just wanted to show you one of my favorite parts of the tracker. So let's go to an empty month. So in this tracker here, every month is a blank slate. You have a table here where you can input your income, how much you budgeted in, and at the end of the month you can put how much you actually spent on that area. You have a place here for bills and fixed expenses. You just choose which of the categories that you want, and then you put how much you're budgeting for, and then at the end of the month you can put how much you actually spent on that. At the bottom here, it has a place for whatever debt that you're paying off. And then in the middle here, you have variable expenses. So tithe, groceries, dining out. These are things that I inputted myself. So the example has its own thing. Like this is, when you buy, this is what it comes with. And so the person that I bought it from, they had these categories, but I am able to change it into the categories that I want. So I have groceries, dining out, spending money for Ibrahim, myself, gas for the car, money that we spend on the kids, money that we spend on the house, etc., etc. So you're able to put in how much you want to budget here, and then how much you actually spend here. It also allows you to put in how much you're saving and how much you're investing. And then what I really like about this is that then you have an expense tracker. So this is what I use throughout the month. So every time I make a purchase, and Ibrahim has access to this because this is Google Documents, so Ibrahim has access to it as well. And what we do is that whenever we make a purchase, so let's say we put $100 gas, I will put $100, I will put gas. Sometimes I put in the date, and then I would put gas for whatever vehicle that we put gas in. Now what I really like is that at the end of the month you have an expenses summary tracker where it tabulates automatically all of the money that you spend on groceries, on dining out, on spending, on the kids, etc. And then you get like a little graph here. This is the month of May. I have this thank you card here that's blocking a table for privacy, but keep in mind that all of the expenses for May are not complete, so this graph is definitely skewed. 42.9% is not what we spend on groceries. We don't spend 42.9% on groceries. It's skewed because not everything is inputted into the Excel sheet as yet anyways. One of the things I like about this graph is that as you put in your expenses and what you're spending on, you can kind of see where your money is going. And I think that's very, very useful, because when you know where your money is going, then you're better able to say, okay, I'm doing well with my money, I'm not doing well with my money, we can cut back on this area, okay, maybe we can increase in this area, and that kind of thing. So I love visual things like that. I really like this tracker because it has really shined some light on, some things that we probably need to work on, some things that we are doing well in that I didn't think that we were doing as well in. So if you're into Excel sheets, of course, not everybody likes this kind of thing, but I live for this kind of things. So if you're into Excel sheets, you're into tracking and that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend this tracker. It's a one-time expense and you can reuse it for the entire year, and you can just switch out the date and use it again for years and years to come. So it's worth the investment to me, and if you're interested, I'll have it linked in the description box below. All right, so now let's get into my favorites for the month of April. Things that I enjoyed, I loved, I used, and I would definitely recommend to anybody if they were looking for something like that. So first, let's start off with my favorite book. So I read M is for Mama, A Rebellion Against Mediocre Motherhood. It is by Abby Halberstadt. I follow her on Instagram, and I really enjoyed this book. It is extremely encouraging, and it also calls you to do a better job in motherhood without making you feel like a complete failure. So I really enjoyed this book. It had a lot of practical ideas as well, and I probably would recommend this for anyone who is in the trenches of toddlerhood and babyhood and are just looking forward to being a good mom. So M is for Mama, definitely recommend, will be in the description box below. Another one of my favorites, it just happens to be by the same person, is a podcast episode. So this author, Abby Halberstadt, also has a podcast that is available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube as well, and she has an episode on toddlers. I think it's actually 2 episodes. It's split in 2, where she gives lots of practical tips where toddlers are concerned. Again, if you're new here, I have a toddler who recently turned 3, and I have another toddler who's going to turn 2 in a couple of months. So things can get pretty crazy and very rowdy around here, and I welcome all of the tips. So her podcast episode it's called Talking Toddlers, Practical Tips to Help You Thrive in This Stage, I thought was very helpful, very encouraging, very eye-opening, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I've listened to it twice, and I might probably listen to it maybe later down the year. So I'll have it linked in the description box below. I would totally recommend it. So these are my favorites for the month of April. They served us well, and I hope that if you are interested in these items, they would serve you too. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world that you guys are here. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.